My great Suhotra Swami of Radhastami Bhaktivedanta Swami Shri Prabhupada ki Jai. Shri Radhastami ki Jai. Radha Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai. Lord Premanandi Hari. All glories to the Son of the devotees. All glories to the Son of the devotees. All glories to the Son of the devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga glories to Sri Prabhupada. Nam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale. Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Nityanamani Namaste Saraswati Shri Namaste Shri Navai Prashanti. So this Sri Radhika Stava is, as I mentioned, composed by Srila Rupa Goswami, and Srila Prabhupada said that Rupa Goswami is the right person to understand Srimati Radharani, and we should try to understand her through our great Rasa Tattva Acharya. Otherwise, Radharani is very easy to misunderstand. We see even in the Srimad Bhagavatam such great caution is done by Sri Shukadev Goswami. He never mentions directly the name of Sri Radha, although there is obvious reference to her, and in fact her name appears mysteriously in one verse where Shukadev Goswami is obviously referring to her as that gopi by whom Sri Hari is especially worshipped more than any other gopis. Anya Aradita Nunam. The verse begins. Anya Aradita Nunam. So Aradita in Sanskrit, actually in the dictionary, if you look it up, it means to worship. But obviously, if we look at this word a little carefully, we see the name Radha is enclosed in it. So it's a very clever way Shukadev Goswami has done to mention Radha without directly mentioning her. And so we may ask why? Why so much caution is exercised by Shukadev Goswami, who is actually, who is Shukadev Goswami? This is very interesting. So he's actually the parrot of Srimati Radharani in the spiritual world. She keeps one pet parrot. Shuka actually means parrot. So Shukadev Goswami, in his Nitya, eternal identity, is that very parrot. So why he of all persons? Because she talks everything to her parrot. His parrot is very beloved to her, and she likes to hold him, keep him on her right hand, and she tells the parrot all about Krishna. She tells how she's feeling about Krishna, every intimate thing, because you see, it's in the material world too. It's these are very confidential things to reveal one's heart about one's beloved. But she reveals everything to this parrot about Krishna, and of course then the parrot flies and goes tells Krishna. But in this way then Krishna becomes more attached to Radharani, hearing these wonderful things. So if this is Shukadev Goswami, then why he of all persons is so cautious? Because Srimati Radharani is Her devotion is so special and rare. Her identity is so special and rare. Very, very difficult for anyone in the material world to understand. You see, in India, people are attracted to worship Shakti. Shakti means the feminine potency of the Lord. But all from material things. Because in the material world, this is what the representation of woman is. It's a representation of everything material. And therefore you see in the, even in the Western world, in the advertising, they use pretty girls to advertise their products, to attract the minds of people. So it's all buying and selling and sense gratification. So the material consciousness is predominated by this. So then to present Srimati Radharani, as we hear in this verse, Taruni, Gokula Taruni. So Taruni means most beautiful young girl, Gokula of Gokul. Gokula Taruni. So this is so easily misunderstood. So therefore, Srila Shukadeva Goswami is so very cautious about speaking about Srimati Radharani. So if we want to understand her, we have to understand through the most expert devotee. Even among the 6 Goswamis, Srila Rupa Goswami in particular, is our Rasacharya. So Rasa, that is this very topic of the loving dealings between Shri Radha and Krishna. So again, this is so easily misunderstood and is widely misunderstood in India. In India, everybody knows about Radha and Krishna and their love affairs. But unfortunately, it's understood sometimes in a very, very perverted way, extremely perverted way. In any case, generally it is understood in the wrong way. People will think that, and they're so quick to say, I've heard this myself, they're so quick to say, some pretty young woman, oh, that is Radharani, just because she's pretty. They'll say, make a comment like that. Or if they're feeling some lustful attraction, they're thinking that this is something like, what Krishna feels for Radha or Radha feels for Krishna. But actually it is nothing like. If it was something like, then why does Lord Krishna take so much trouble to come here again and again in so many different avatars and come here personally as Krishna and Gauranga Mahaprabhu to deliver us from this? If it is something like, it is nothing like. This we must understand. It is nothing like. But it is Maya, and Maya is Krishna's own illusory potency. Or those who are bahirmukh, those who have turned away from Krishna, they get captivated by this Maya, and then she is presenting this alternative to prema, which is known as kam, lust. And this is the disease of the soul, from which we must get cured. So Srila Rupa Goswami is the right person, the Rasacharya, the right doctor from whom to get that cure. And therefore this ISKCON movement, this Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, is particularly known as the Rupanuga Sampradaya, following in the footsteps of Rupa Goswami, who saves us from this misunderstanding. So he writes here, Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Dayate Gokula Taruni Mandala Mahite. O Radha, O Madhava's beloved, O you whom all the young girls of Gokula worship, all glories unto you, all glories unto you. So this name Madhava that is given here is very significant. We must understand this. We should understand why in Sridham Mayapur the deities are named by Srila Prabhupada, Shri Radha Madhava. Mayapur center, or ISKCON center there. This is our ISKCON world headquarters. Srila Prabhupada considered it so. It is certainly the most developed of all projects in ISKCON. And Prabhupada personally wanted the deity there to be known as Sri Sri Radha Madhava. So Madhava means the husband of the goddess of fortune. So these gopis are Lakshmis, but in Goloka identity. Everyone knows Lakshmi, the consort of Narayan in Vaikuntha. But Vaikuntha, this is the spiritual world, but Vaikuntha, the mood is Aishwarya Bhava, the mood of opulence. In Vaikuntha, the Lord is presenting himself as God Almighty. But not so in Goloka Vrindavan. Prabhupada so often pointed this out, that nobody thinks of Krishna as God in Goloka Vrindavan. Rather, they think of him as the most beloved of their heart. So this is called Madhura Bhava, the bhava or mood of intimacy. And this is what Krishna likes best. This is natural. This is natural. Someone may have some official responsibility, some grave position in society, like Prabhupada would give the example of High Court judge. So that is our duty, that is our function, social function. We may like this very much to do, but anyone in such a position, finally they want to go home, they want to be in their own place where they can relax, and be with those who are intimate to them, and then all the guard is dropped, the prestigious representation is put to the side, and one can be oneself. So this comes from Krishna. Krishna is like that. So Krishna's home, his own personal place, that is Goloka Vrindavan. And similarly, Mahalakshmi, who is, you can see standing gravely, you always see this, Lakshmi Narayan standing together. And again, this is the mood of majesty, opulence. So Lord Narayan, he's smiling of course, but there's gravity there. And Lakshmi Ji is also very grave. And she is the Vishnu Patni, the wife of Lord Vishnu. So this is all very orderly and formal. But just as Krishna likes to relax at home, so Srimati Radhi, the same Mahalakshmi, as the Sanat Kumar Samhita tells us, Satu Shakshan, Mahalakshmi, Sat means for Radharani, is the same, Mahalakshmi. Krishna Narayana Prabhu. And Lord Krishna is the same Narayan in Vaikuntha. Natayavite Veda Svapupi Muni Sattama. This is the conclusion of the great sages. So we should never make any distinction between the two. We should never think that Narayan is someone other than Krishna, or Mahalakshmi is someone other than Radharani. They are the same, but the mood, the bhava, that is what is different. Therefore, in our deity worship, you have today Sri Sri Radha Govinda. So yes, Radha Krishna, they are the Param Devata of this movement, this Krishna consciousness movement, the supreme God and Goddess, Radha and Krishna. But as Prabhupada said, we are in no position to worship Radha Krishna, because Radha and Krishna are approachable through prema, love of Godhead. And we don't have this. We should never think that we have this. Being denizens of Kali Yuga, we can get this by serving Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission and proving ourselves as his trustworthy servants. Then Mahaprabhu awards this prema. But we are needy of this prema. That is how we should understand our position. We are need. Prayojana means need. Prem Prayojana. This is our need. So we do not have this prema, so actually we cannot worship Radha and Krishna. So then why are Radha and Krishna here? Yes, they are here, but we can approach them as Lakshmi Narayan in that mood. So Lakshmi Narayan They are to be approached through rules and regulations, the Vaidhi. And the predominating mood is that of Das, servant. So again, this is the mood in Vaikuntha, Das, servitude. So in India, Lakshmi and Narayan, they're very popular deities. The Birla family has built all over India so many, they're known as Birla temples, they're Lakshmi Narayan temples. But people go there, they approach Lakshmi Narayan for the Chaturvarg, Dharma, Artha, Kam, Moksha. So Dharma, Artha, Kam, that is this world, and Moksha is Vaikuntha. Liberation in Vaikuntha. So these Chaturvarg are four, Prabhupada called them 4 stages of human life. They are Vedic, but they fall short of Prem Prayoja. So others, they approach Lakshmi Narayan praying for Dharma, to become nicely established in Dharma. Particularly that means to be married. To be nicely married, settled up in Grihastha ashram. And this, in Hindu society, is always referred to as Dharma. The wife is Dharma Patni. So, yes, they pray for that first of all. And then Artha means once you're married, there has to be economic development. And then, of course, Kam, the sensual pleasure of association between the husband and wife, and out of this comes children. And all this is part of Dharma. And then finally at the end, when one reaches that age where this type of rasa dries up, and everything else dries up, the body is also looking pretty dry and wrinkled, then one's thoughts turns to moksha, moksha, liberation. So that's the last stage. Please, dear Sri Sri Lakshmi Narayan, deliver me from this material world. Bless me with renunciation. So, Aishwarya, opulence for the earlier part, Radharani is, Lakshmi ji is giving, and at the end, another opulence is Vairagya, renunciation. So that is also given by Lakshmi ji. So in this way they pray. But this is falling short of prema. So therefore the devotees in the Krishna consciousness movement, in the line of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, following Vaidhi Bhakti, we're approaching Radha Krishna but in the mood of Lakshmi Narayan. And our prayer is for prema. You see? Because we know who they are. This, whom we're approaching in the same dasya mood, very reverently, following all the Vaidhi, this divine couple is actually Radha and Krishna. So who else are going to give us prema except Radha and Krishna? Gauranga Mahaprabhu, but he is Radha and Krishna in one person. So you see, this is we are approaching the same Lakshmi Narayan, but knowing their Goloka identity, and that is our prayer. Please give us your loving devotional service. And so if we do this, following in the footsteps of our Sampradaya, our Rasacharya, Srila Rupa Goswami, then Sri Sri Radha Krishna will be very pleased to award this prayer, this prema. That is their business. Radha and Krishna's business are to be merciful to the devotees, particularly Srimati Radharani. She's even more merciful than Krishna because she is the personality of Godhead too, but she is the personality of Godhead as devotee of the personality of Godhead. And being the best devotee of all, she's also the most humble devotee. And she appreciates everyone else's devotion. And she considers herself the servant of anyone who comes forward to worship Lord Krishna, whom she keeps in her heart. Therefore we see that she even goes to bumblebees in Goloka Vrindavan and bows down to them and very humbly says, you are so fortunate that you are tasting the nectar at Lord Krishna's lotus feet, so you please give me your blessing. She prays to the reeds that grow in the Jamuna. Because Krishna uses these reeds for his flute, so you fortunate reeds, you are able to taste the nectar of Krishna's lips. I am dying to have a drop of this nectar, but you're always able to taste it, so you're such great devotees. Please bless me. So this is Radharani's mood. So she is sold out to Lord Krishna, and Krishna in turn is sold out to her. So if Srimati Radharani gives any recommendation, here is a nice devotee, and Krishna is immediately accepting. So this is the, you can say, the easy ticket to Krishna consciousness, to get the favor of Radharani. So, yes, and we were talking about Madhava. I didn't even finish that yet. So, Madhava, husband of goddess of fortune. That Madhava, that Ma means Radharani. Madhava. Dhava means husband. So, husband of Ma. So that is Srimati Radharani. Ma is Lakshmi. In Goloka, that is Radharani. And Mamata, this is Radharani's special mood of devotion. Mamata Bhakti. Generally, everyone's devotional mood is Tvadiya Bhakti. Tvadiya means praying to the Lord, I am yours. Do with me as you like. I am your servant. I am sold out to you. So please use me as you like. But Radharani's mood is Mamata. And Krishna is mine. So this is so rarely, this is rare, but actually this is the mood in Goloka Vrindavan. This is what separates Goloka Vrindavan from Vaikuntha. In Vaikuntha it is Tvadiya, that we are the Lord's humble servants. He may do it just like Garuda Dev. Garuda is a typical Vaikuntha Vasi. So the Lord comes and sits on his back, and Garuda, it's like, transcendental taxi. Where you want to go, my Lord? Just tell me. And then he flies to that destination. But in Goloka Vrindavan, Mamata, Krishna is mine. Krishna belongs to me. And so this means that powerful, possessive emotions of love are flowing in Goloka Vrindavan that are not seen in Vaikuntha. Possessive love, like Yashoda. Yashoda is thinking Krishna is my son. Where is Krishna gone? She's going to the door and calling out, Krishna, come home. Come here now, like a mother chastises her little boy. You come here now. No, ma, I'm playing. What are you? You think you're a street boy? You think you have no home, playing in the street all day? You come here. So then Krishna comes running. He has to. It's his mother, you see. So this is not happening in Vaikuntha. No one is calling, Narayan, come here. But Krishna has to come. It's his mother. He has to tell his friends, sorry, I have to go home. My mom is calling. So very humbly he comes in and she's bringing him to the table. Sit down here. Now you eat. So, and then of course, Srimati Radharani, Krishna is her lover, and she is extremely possessive. There is a color of her mood, and that color is a brilliant red. There's a certain kind of pigment from a flower that one can see in India, bright red flower. And so this particular brilliant red pigment is said to be, because in the spiritual world everything is manifest in a most wonderful way. So here in the material world, we talk about mood. Mood is something you can feel inside yourself. But in the spiritual world you can't see it, and it is said to have that color. Her mood has that color, brilliant red. So she's very fiery, therefore on this day, and I hope this is I'll say this if the cooks haven't thought of this, I hope they have, but Prabhupada said we have to make this Radha red chutney. You know about this? You know? Okay.
No, I don't.
You don't?
No.
But you're not a cook?
No.
Okay. There's plum chutney. And Prabhupada said it has to be so sweet, so much sugar put in it that you cannot stop eating. But at the same time, so many chilies have to be in it that you can't eat it. You see? So too sweet not to eat, too hot to eat. That is Radharani's mood. So, very sweet but very hot. So she chastises Krishna. She sometimes turns her back on Krishna and stalks away. Rascal, I won't associate with you anymore. And Krishna has to go and bow down to her feet, worship her feet. So again, these things are very, very intimate and very easily misunderstood. So Madhava, Mama, Tha, Ma, mine, means Ma, her, Lakshmi Ji, Radharani, and also means mine. This is the mood, Madhava. This is the significance of this name. Damodara Rati Vardhana Veshe Harinish Kutta Vrindavani Veshe. O you who dress yourself so as to make Lord Damodar love you more and more. O Queen of Lord Hari's pleasure grove, Vrindavan. Vrishabhanu Dhadi Navi Shashi Leke Lalita Shaki Guna Ramita Vishake. O new moon arisen from the ocean of King Vrishabhanu. Yes, this is important because today is her appearance day. So she actually appeared like the moon in the waters of the Jamuna. King Vrishabhanu, who is the Kshatriya king of Vrindavan. Nanda Maharaj is the Vaishya king, because the Vaishya community would have its leader. So he was the leader of the Vaishya community, was almost a Kshatriya. He's considered a Vaishya, but he would have also opulence and authority over all the other Vaishyas. And then over in this Varnashram system, Daily Varnashram system, and the authority over Nanda Maharaj is King Vrishabhanu, who's actual Vaishya of the Braja Mandal. So once King Vrishabhanu went to take bath in the Jamuna, and he saw a wonderful light playing in the waves of the Jamuna, like as if the moon had entered the water. And so he went there to see what it was, and he found this beautiful girl baby just floating along the water's waves. And this is Srimati Radharani. So Vrishabhanu Nava Shashi Leke. Shashi means moon. Vrishabhanu Dadi. Vrishabhanu went in the Jamuna, and his presence in the Jamuna was, his pure devotion was causing the waters to churn. And out of this churning, Nava, the new moon, Nava Shashi, the ever fresh, ever youthful moon, Srimati Radharani made her appearance. Lalita Shakti Guna Ramita Vishaki. O you whose virtues delight Vishaka, O friend of Lalita. Yes, so her two best friends are Lalita and Vishaka. They are always on her sides. And they help her in her relationship with Sri Krishna. So Karunam Kurumai, Karuna Bharite, Sanaka Sanatana Bharnita Churite. O merciful goddess, O you whose divine qualities are sung by Sanaka and Sanatana Kumars, O most merciful Radha, please have mercy on me. Yes. So Prabhupada said in this connection, never think that Srimati Radharani is an ordinary girl, because her glories are sung by Sanatana and Sanaka Goswami, the Kumaras, the Chatushana, the 4 Kumaras. And who are the 4 Kumaras? They are the best of brahmacharis in the whole universe. Such good brahmacharis that their bodies never age beyond appearance of 5 years old. Although there are millions that they have been around since the beginning of the universe. They are the direct sons of Lord Brahma's mind. So they have been around for 150 trillion years, but they haven't aged beyond 5 years because they are perfect brahmacharis. So why are they seeing the glories of this beautiful young girl if they're such good brahmacharis? And that is because she's not an ordinary young woman. She is Dairi Prakriti, as Prabhupada once said, the transcendental female, Krishna's own consort, Krishna's own Shakti. We address Krishna as Adi Purusha, the original personality, the original enjoyer. And similarly, Radharani is Adya Shakti. He is original potency, Hladini Shakti, by which he is enjoying. So she supplies. Everything that is pleasurable to Krishna comes from Radharani, and therefore to please Krishna, one has to go through Radharani. She is the Bhakti Devi, she is the goddess of devotion to the Lord. So therefore, it is extremely important that we observe this day very nicely. Prabhupada, I published in my journal these nice lectures that Prabhupada gave on Radhastami, 2 lectures. And there he's saying, she is more important than Krishna. And just like I was in Wrocław in Poland, I was saying, we have these companies like, there's this company, Daimler Chrysler. The Daimler automobile company in Germany has merged with the Chrysler Corporation of the United States. Daimler makes Mercedes, Chrysler of course makes Chrysler, Dodge trucks, Pontiac, these cars. So 2 big companies. And why does Daimler come first? Daimler, Chrysler, even that's from the point of view of alphabet, C comes before D, so why isn't it Chrysler, Daimler? And that even seems easier to say, Chrysler, Daimler, I don't know, to me anyway, than Daimler, Chrysler. Seems more difficult. So why does Daimler come? Because it's the bigger company, it's a more important company. There's more money. So, therefore, Daimler comes first. So, how we address the divine couple, we say Radha Krishna. Why don't we say Krishna Radha? When we chant Hare Krishna, we say Hare Krishna, Hare standing for Radharani. Why don't we say Krishna Hare? Krishna Hare. Because Radharani is more important. Because you cannot approach Krishna except through her. Just like you cannot see the sun unless there's the light of the sun reaching your eyes. And the light is the Shakti, the potency of the sun. So if there's no light, then for us there's no sun. You see? So it is by the mercy of the energy of the sun that we can see the sun. So similarly, it is by the mercy of Krishna's energy, Hare or Radha, that we can have any connection to Krishna. And that's why she's more important. So if we want to become successful in Krishna consciousness, we have to very carefully observe this day. Hare Krishna. So, I've selected this verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 20, the Lord Vishnu's appearance in the sacrificial arena. This is text number 26. It is here on the board. We can go through this quickly because we've already talked quite a bit. So, Yashashivam Shushrufa Arya Sangame Yadrichaya Cho Pashrunokti Te Sakrit Katam Guna Gino Viramed Bina Pashun Shrir Yat Pavrabre Guna Sungrahichaya. Please repeat. Yashaha, glorification. Shivam, all auspicious. Sushavaha, O highly glorified Lord. Arya Sangame, in the association of advanced devotees. Yadrichaya, somehow or other. Cha, also. Upashinoti, hears. Te, your. Sakrit, even once. Katam, how. Gunagna, one who appreciates good qualities. Viramet, can cease. Bina, unless. Ashum, an animal. Shri, the goddess of fortune. Yat, which. Prabrabre, accepted. Guna, your qualities. Sangraha, to receive. Ichaya, with the desire. Forgot to chant. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Okay. Translation. My dear highly glorified Lord, you can repeat after me. My dear highly glorified Lord, if one in the association of pure devotees hears even once the glories of your activities, he does not, unless he is nothing but an animal, give up the association of devotees. For no intelligent person would be so careless as to leave their association. The perfection of chanting and hearing about your glories was accepted even by the goddess of fortune, who desired to hear of your unlimited activities and transcendental glories. Report. The association of devotees, Arya Sangama, is the most important factor in this world. The word Arya refers to those who are advancing spiritually. In the history of the human race, the Aryan family is considered to be the most elevated community in the world because it adopts the Vedic civilization. The Aryan family is distributed all over the world and is known as Indo-Aryan. In prehistoric days, all the members of the Aryan family followed the Vedic principles, and therefore they became spiritually advanced. The kings, known as Rajarshis, were so perfectly educated as Kshatriyas, or protectors of the citizens, and so greatly advanced in spiritual life that there was not a bit of trouble for the citizens. The glorification of the Supreme Lord can be very much appreciated by the Aryan family. Although there is no bar for others, the members of the Aryan family quickly catch the essence of spiritual life. How is it that we are finding it very easy to spread Krishna consciousness among the Europeans and Americans? History reports that the Americans and Europeans proved their capability when they were anxious to expand colonization. But at the present time, being contaminated by the advancement of material science, their sons and grandsons are turning into reprobates. Reprobates means fallen persons. This is due to having lost their original spiritual culture, which is Vedic civilization. Presently, these descendants of the Aryan family are taking this Krishna consciousness movement very seriously. Others who are associating with them and hearing the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra from the lips of the pure devotees are also becoming captivated by the transcendental vibration. Transcendental vibrations are very much effective when chanted among Aryans, but even though one does not belong to the Aryan family, he will become a Vaishnava simply by hearing the mantra, because the vibration has great influence over everyone. Maharaj Prithu points out that even the goddess of fortune, who is the constant companion of Lord Narayan, specifically wanted to hear about the Lord's glories. And for the association of the gopis, who are pure devotees, the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi, underwent severe austerities. The impersonalist may ask why one should bother chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra continually for so many years instead of stopping and trying for Kaivalya, liberation, or merging into the existence of the Lord. In answer, Maharaj Prithu maintains that the attraction of this chanting is so great that one cannot give up the process unless he is an animal. This is the case even if one comes in contact with this transcendental vibration by chance. Prithu Maharaj is very emphatic in this connection. Only an animal can give up the practice of chanting Hare Krishna. Those who are not animals but actually intelligent, advanced, human, civilized men cannot give up this practice of continually chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare. So Yashashivam, Shushrava, Arya Sangame, Yadruchya, Chapashrinoti Te Sakrit Katam Gura, No Viramed, Vina Pashum, Shirya, Pabrave Guna, Sungra Hechaya. My dear glorified Lord, if one in the association of pure devotees hears even once the glories of your activities, he does not, unless he is nothing but an animal, give up the association of devotees. For no intelligent person would be so careless as to leave their association. The perfection of chanting and hearing about your glories was accepted even by the goddess of fortune, who desired to hear of your unlimited activities and transcendental glories. Mukam Karoti Bachalam Mangalanaya Tegarim Yukripa Brahmande Sri Gurum Dinatagnam. So I selected this verse particularly because of Prabhupada's statement in the beginning of the third paragraph. Maharaj Prithu points out that even the goddess of fortune, who is the constant companion of the Lord Narayan, specifically wanted to hear about the Lord's glories, and for the association of the gopis, who are pure devotees, the goddess of fortune Lakshmi underwent severe austerities. So there is a place in present-day Brajabhumi, the holy land of Vrindavan, where one can visit a temple in which the deity of Goddess Lakshmi is giving her merciful darshan, and she is performing austerities. So Lakshmi ji has come to Vrindavan because she wants to enter into the Gopi Bhav, the Gopi Rasa with Krishna. So this is a very interesting, wonderful pastime, because as I explained, who is Lakshmi ji? She is none other than Srimati Radharani herself. But the mood is different, you see. Now, it's interesting to note that when Krishna goes to Dwarka, to stay at Dwarka, after he leaves Vrindavan and also Mathura, he took control of Mathura, but when Jarasandha was attacking again and again, then he went to Dwarka to build a fortress. So Dwarka is actually the highest point of Vaikuntha Dham. There are different dhams in Vaikuntha, of course, so unlimited spiritual planets. And there are so many different forms of the Lord are staying with their devotees. And there's a gradation in Vaikuntha, and finally there is Ayodhya Dham, which is the place of Lord Ramachandra. And then above Ayodhya Dham, at last there is Dwarka Dham. So Dwarka Dham is ruled over by, this is Lord Krishna. Sometimes he's showing 4 arms in Dwarka, like Narayan, but generally he's 2-handed. So this is Krishna, but the mood in Dwarka is Aishwarya. Krishna is king. He's king, he's Lord. So Krishna is there and his queens are there. And these queens, Rukmini, Satyabhama, they're also 2-handed, but they're exactly in that mood of Lakshmi. They are faithful wives of their great husband. So it's interesting that Satyabhama, the second wife of Lord Krishna at Dwarka, is actually Srimati Radharani. Why she's the second wife? Well, that we could get into, but that takes us away from what we want to make here. She's the second wife. Rukmini is the first wife. She's Chandravali in Rajalila. But in Dwarka, this is the mood. It is Vaikuntha mood. But still, in Dwarka, Krishna has built on the Raivata mountain, a place called Nava Vrindavan, which means New Vrindavan, by the way. There's a New Vrindavan in Dwarka. And everything there is made to look like Vrindavan. And Krishna goes there with Balaram and their queens. And they do Raja Leela. They are enacting the rasa dance, and everything is there. So Krishna's, you can say, reminiscing his childhood pastimes, his youthful pastimes in the Braja Mandal. So what do we learn from this? We see that although Krishna is in Dwarka and he's accepted that Vaikuntha mood, his heart is still in Vrindavan and he wants to go there. And so similarly, Satyabhama, her heart is the same way. And then of course this brings us to Lord Jagannath and Balaram and Subhadra. You find in that Sri Jagannath Priya Natikam the explanation why they look like they do, why their arms and legs are withdrawn in their body, and why their eyes are so big, and why they have that big, blissful, totally intoxicated smile on their face. Because they are listening, sometimes they're listening to devotees in there in Dwarka speak of Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavan. They talk about it. Everyone talks about Krishna in Dwarka, of course, and sometimes they're, it becomes a little gossipy, but the gossip is transcendental. So the Dwarka gossip is, yes, now Krishna, he's the king, but do you know what he was doing in Vrindavan? And they start to talk secretly like this. And sometimes Krishna, Balaram and his sister Subhadra, they go to the keyhole and they hear this. And hearing that, they get this feature. Their eyes become big and they go into ecstasy. So their arms and legs just withdraw in their bodies. And that's how Lord Jagannath appeared. So, this is interesting and brings us back to Lakshmi ji. So, in the core of her heart, she also wants to experience as Lakshmi that Goloka identity and to be a gopi, and to experience the prema that the gopis experience in their relationship with Krishna. But then what does she do? She goes and does austerities. Now this is transcendentally ironical because this is showing that she's Lakshmi. This is a glorification of the uniqueness of the Goloka mood. Lakshmi can't do it. Of course, there's no need to lament for her because she's Radharani anyway. But she also has to be Lakshmi in this expansion of the Lord's pastimes into Vaikuntha. So she has her duty there. So yes, she performs severe austerities. This is what Lakshmi is. This is what she's doing. She is most suitable for that because she's a Dharma Patni. She's the most faithful, chaste wife of Lord Narayan, and she is in this mood of service to Lord Narayan. Everything is for her husband, her Lord. So just like at Kolhapur in India, there's this Mahalakshmi temple, where there too she's doing austerities. But she's doing the austerities there because she's feeling offended that as a good wife, this Bhrigu Muni stepped on her husband's chest. And that chest is where she resides. So how could this sage with a long beard come and step on this place where I stay, on my husband's chest? And what did my husband do? He massaged the sage's feet. So she became very indignant. I'm not going to stand for this. And so she is actually the consort of Lord Srinivas. Srinivas means the shelter of Sri Lakshmi. And Srinivas stays at Tirupati. Tirupati is the most visited Vishnu temple in all of India. He's otherwise known as Balaji there. So they come from all over India to Tirupati, which is on top of a big mountain. And the real serious pilgrims, they walk up there. And that is very, very exhausting. And it takes days to get up there. So they walk up to the top of Tirupati, Tirumala hill, and there they have darshan of Srinivasa. So Lakshmi, this Lakshmi in Kolhapur is actually the Lakshmi that belongs with Srinivasa in Tirupati, but why is she on the other side of India? Because she's gone there for her austerities. So this is Lakshmi. She does this. She's very capable to perform such austerities, and total yoga, no eating, just sitting in asana for millions of years. Lakshmi can do this. Just like Bina Lakshmi, this is the secret of Sita Devi, that she was Bina Lakshmi, Lakshmi separated from Narayan in the Himalayas performing austerities. And Ravana saw her glowing form and became lustful towards her and came down in his airplane that he had stole from Kuvera. He rides in a stolen Vimana. And your real sweetheart is Ravana. You know, like some tough guy who's so tough he rides around town in a stolen car and doesn't care who sees him, you know. Doesn't care if the police sees him. Everyone's afraid of him. That's Ravana. So he has Kuvera's chariot, flying chariot. Anyway, so he came down and then he approached Bina Lakshmi and took her by the hair to drag her to him. And she became, again, very insulted. This fiery nature came out and she cursed him. You touch me like this. I am the consort of Vishnu, but you have touched me, so I will give up this body right now. I'm giving up this body and I will come back and destroy you. This was what her final words to him. And then her whole body burst into flames and she was gone. But then she appeared as Sita Devi. First in the ocean and then in the earth. Maharaj Janaka uncovered her when he was plowing the field for a sacrifice, and she became his daughter. And indeed, as Sita, she destroyed Ravana. So this is Lakshmi. She can perform very severe austerities. And you see, this is what is betraying her effort to become a gopi, that she resorts to the Lakshmi way of doing things. Sit down, perform austerities. And that's not the way you can enter Goloka Vrindavan. What is the way to enter the Brajalila? Now that is the point here. That is actually the point of this whole verse. That Arya Sangami, Prabhupada has said a lot about that. Arya Sangami. So this word Arya, of course, Prabhupada has also used that racial definition. There is an Aryan line, genealogical line that has extended out of India and can be traced through the languages that have relationship to Sanskrit. Even Finnish, I've heard, they somehow found some. Well, nobody else can understand Finnish, but even that's considered to somehow or other be in this category too, to have some connection to Sanskrit. I don't know how, but anyway. And certainly in so many other languages, as you see in Europe, it's obvious to find these root words that hark back to Sanskrit, the Vedic language. So this is indicating that the people speaking these languages, their family genealogy finally goes back to India. So this is one understanding of Arya, but actually that's not the real sense of Aryan. It doesn't mean born in some family. It actually means culture. So as Prabhupada explains that too in this purport, that Arya means greatly advanced in spiritual life. And when we take that definition, then that can mean anyone. Anyone who takes seriously, like that verse spoken by Mother Devavati, Aho Bhakta Svapacho tu Garyan Yajivagre Vartade Namatubhyam. So she's saying that anyone who chants the holy name of the Lord, takes the holy name of the Lord, must be considered an Aryan, because that chanting means that he is greatly advanced. Even though he may have been born in the family of Svapacha, means dog-eating family, or eating any, but especially dog eaters are very low animal eating. So even born in such a family, but if they have come to the point of chanting the holy name of Krishna, then the devotee says they must be considered Aryas, greatly advanced. So Arya Sangame means to associate with those who are greatly advanced, which means to associate with the devotees. And so to attain this Braja Bhav, this mood of love for Krishna that is manifest in Brajabhumi, one must take the association of the Brajavasis. You see, but what has Lakshmi done? She has come all the way to Brajabhumi, but she has sit down to perform austerities. That means obviously she's not associating with anyone. She's sitting in her yoga asana and meditating. So this is her bhava. You see, this is her mood. And so because she's not by herself able to change that mood, therefore she cannot attain the Braja Bhav. But again, as I said, no one should feel sorry for her, because actually, who is she? She's Srimati Radharani, but this is... And the gopis, you see, we should also, just as she is appreciating the gopis appreciate her also. The gopis are also considering her the most fortunate of women. Because the gopis' mood is this is the mood that Mahaprabhu has injected into this sampradaya. Viraha Bhakti it is called. Viraha means separation. So there are two in Vrindavan Bhava or Bhakti. There is Sambhoga, yes, Sambhoga and Viraha. So Sambhoga means to be together with Krishna. And then Viraha means to be a separation of Krishna. And Mahaprabhu has taught that Viraha is actually higher. So this is the yearning of the gopis. This is Prabhupada explained that Krishna may apparently leave Vrindavan. He apparently leaves Vrindavan. This is Krishna. And we see in Mahaprabhu's prayer, last prayer, the Shikshashtakam, that Krishna, you're independent. You can do what you like. I love you, but you can leave me. What can I do? But mat prana nata tu sa eva napra. Nonetheless, you may go, but you are the prana. You are the life of my heart. You are my life. So Prabhupada explained what this means. It's not simply poetry. There's a mystery, because we know that Krishna never leaves Vrindavan, but he apparently does. Everyone sees him get on the chariot with the Krura, he and Lord Balaram, and they ride off, and some of the gopis are giving up their bodies out of intense distress. So he's gone. He goes to Mathura, and then he tells them all come back, but he doesn't. He goes to Mathura, instead of coming back, then he goes to Dwarka. So apparently he leaves them, he abandons them. And again, this is the wonder of the Rath Yatra. They meet again at these lakes created by Parshuram, this holy place in Western India, because there was a time for bathing. So the Brajavasis went there, and the Dwarkavasis also came there. And when Radha and the gopis saw Krishna, they grabbed the reins of the chariot and were pulling, you come back with us to Vrindavan. So they want Krishna back in Vrindavan. This is the mood of separation. So Prabhupada said there's a mystery to this, that yes, Krishna never leaves, he's always there. And what is that form that he's always there? It's called the Bhavarup. He actually is the very form of these aroused emotions of separation. That is Krishna. So this is a great mystery. And this is the key to understanding Lord Chaitanya and his pastimes, and this ecstasy that Lord Chaitanya showed, which is beyond anything anyone has ever seen in all spiritual history. I mean, there's sometimes like recently there was this film that came out about Jesus Christ, the Passion of Jesus the Christ. So it begins with Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane, and this is at night, and he's in ecstasy. And they show this in the film. So the Bible describes that he was even bleeding from his forehead, sweating blood. And Prabhupada happens to mention in the Nectar of Devotion that this is one of the symptoms of ecstasy. So this is seen in a person like Jesus Christ, that he was showing some ecstasy. But nothing has been seen like Mahaprabhu. You see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that he would fall on the ground and his limbs would stretch out. 3 meters, arms stretching in 3 meters, legs stretching in 3 meters. It would become loose. The limbs would separate, the joints would become loose. And he would be totally unconscious, frothing at the mouth for hours. And hours, and his associates didn't know what to do. And he would enter into the water of Puri and be caught by a fisherman in the net. The fisherman thought he caught a big fish that would pull up as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So such kind of ecstasy has never been seen. And so we read this, and it's, to use that phrase, mind-blowing. Very difficult to understand. But this is the Varaha Bhava. Varaha means I have not attained Krishna. I could not attain Krishna. This is the prayer of Madhavendra Puri. He is the seed giver of this whole Vipralamba line, this Viraha Bhakti line. The seed is given by Sripad Madhavendra Puri, who, when he was in his last days, he kept saying this over and over again, that I could not attain Mathura, I could not attain Vrindavan. And so, Viraha, in separation. So, yes, this is the higher mood. So anyway, I went on a big one. I just wanted to say a simple thing. The gopis appreciate Goddess Lakshmi. Why is that? Because this is the mood of the gopis. We're in separation from Krishna. We cannot attain Krishna, only very rarely. Because Krishna is lompat. He goes with so many women. He goes here and there. He's not true to us. We have no other shelter except him, but he's not true to us. So this is their lamentation. And then they think Lakshmi is so fortunate because she has him. She is his wife. And she stays on his chest as the Srivas. She has him, so they appreciate so much Goddess Lakshmi. You can see the gopis speaking so highly of her. So as I said, there's no reason to lament about Lakshmi Ji, because this is her way of devotion to the Lord. She is appreciating the gopis are appreciating her. But this is the lesson, that even Lakshmi Ji cannot attain this prema bhakti, braja bhakti. She is Lakshmi, as Prabhupada says, the consort, the constant associate of the Lord. But even she cannot attain, because the way to attain Arya Sangame, One must associate with the devotees. And in this association, hearing about Krishna spoken by these loving devotees, these intimate devotees of the Lord, and pravishti karna randvena svanam bhava surona yunati shamalam Krishna yatara shabdala shirsharat. So Krishna enters into the ears by the words spoken by such devotees. You see, like the Srimad Bhagavatam. The Srimad Bhagavatam is the sound incarnation of Krishna because it is spoken by Suhotra Swami, and I told you who Suhotra Swami really is. He's a Brajavasi, most dear to Radharani. So if we hear the Srimad Bhagavatam, it means Krishna goes into our ears and goes down to our heart and stays there in the heart. And staying there in the heart because this is Krishna, the Supreme Pure, then all impurities must leave. They must go. They are flushed out of the heart. And in this way the heart becomes a fit place for Krishna to stay. So therefore we have to go on hearing, and this is the warning here, that those who stop hearing, then they must be like animals. And there's another important verse, Baba Ausharach verse. Nivrittitarshe upagiyamala Baba Ausharach Shrutya Biramant. The verse goes. So this is also talking about hearing the glories of the Lord. And this verse, Prabhupada was quoting this verse in his final pastimes. Because Baba Ausaraj means medicine. The devotees were in such anxiety to get to some good doctor for Srila Prabhupada to get the proper medicine. But none of these earthly medicines were working. And then Prabhupada would quote this verse, that the real medicine is to hear the holy name of the Lord. So he insisted that there be chanting all the time. So this is the medicine that cures all diseases, because it cures the very seed of our material existence. Baba Ausarach. So this verse concludes that Pashugnat. Pashu means animal. So also Pasu means soul. And so animal killer, an animal killer, a killer of animals is also an animal, obviously. Tigers, they're animals and they kill other animals. So persons who are animal killers are on the levels of animals themselves, flesh-eating animals. And Pashugnat also means killer of the soul, like in the Upanishad, Atmahan, killer of the soul. So that's a person who is most unfortunate, just dedicated to his own spiritual destruction. Somehow has achieved this accursed determination to continue on in harmful material activities, harmful sense gratification, even after having the opportunity to hear about Krishna and chant the holy name. So this warning is given here in the verse by Srila Prabhupada. So we have to endeavor not to become Pashugnat, killers of our own soul. This requires endeavor, spiritual life. It is natural, but it is that nature, that naturalness of Krishna consciousness is